Right. I'm not a doctor. I'm not your doctor. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Like, share, comment, subscribe. And we all want to build muscle. We want to build muscle fast. We want to build it bigger. We want more muscle recruitment, more satellite cells, just more muscle density and quality muscle, right? So we typically think about anabolic steroids, okay? Well, that's not going to be the best option for you unless that's your profession. If you take that risk and you want to go to the Olympia bodybuilding show and compete as one of the competitors, the top echelon of the IFBB, if you want to be the top in the world and you have the genetics, that might be for you. If you want to compete at the Olympics, let's not kid ourselves, that might be for you. If you have those genetics. If you want to be the strongest, fastest, hardest hitting football player, that's probably what you'll be taking, right? Anabolic steroids. Everything comes with a risk reward, okay? So everything comes with the risk. The risks are going to far outweigh the reward. And we know this because there are things called side effects. Well, those side effects are they're just effects, okay? We know they're going to happen of those specific compounds, okay? However, in my last video, I mentioned about my experience with 200 milligrams of melatonin and how I had this feeling of hunger as if I was taking MK677, or what I am prescribed is ipramelan, okay? Or I used to get prescribed GHRP6, ipramelan, kind of the same idea. Anyways, it is a secretagogue growth factor. It helps to release ghrelin and growth hormone and IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor, and it's going to help with appetite and recovery and muscle hyperplasia. So more of these muscle fibers, okay? So not only making the muscle fibers bigger, but we want more and more recruitment so that the more fibers that we have, as they expand, they get bigger as they look, okay? So there's a lot of accusations of the type of people that take growth hormone or growth hormone secretagogues or IGF-1 peptides just by how they look, okay? So if you go to examine.com, they will tell you about IGF-1, okay? And how it helps with muscle protein synthesis and the growth of cells, muscle cells, and skeletal muscle cells, help with tendons, ligaments, help anti-aging. It's a really cool thing, right? It needs insulin to work, okay? Insulin is going to be the most anabolic hormone that our body releases as far as building muscle cells without building other organs. However, insulin is going to be at a disadvantage whenever it comes to your risk of type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance, or even harming the pancreas because it might be overworked, okay? So because if you're injecting these or orally taking these secretagogues for growth hormone, insulin-like growth hormone, your body is going to either A, shut off, or B, it might go into hyperdrive, or some other possibility, right? Everyone's a little bit different. I've seen both happen, and I've seen overactive pancreases, and I've seen underactive, and they cause insulin resistance and a lot of bad effects, okay? However, examine.com kind of gives you some natural ways to go about the stimulating IGF-1 and dihydroepiandrosterone. So that's like the DHEA, zinc, colostrum. If you look back here, creatine is on there. I'm not a member of this. So uric acid, HMB, I wouldn't spend my money on. Carnitine, again, we're talking about like androgen density, if that's a possibility, which it seems to work anecdotally. However, in vitro, I don't know, but because you're dealing with bacteria or fruit flies or mice. However, in vitro, it seems to work pretty well. Whey protein, intermittent fasting. However, intermittent fasting can cause a risk in muscle loss or impeding in muscle. So it might be good for longevity, or just if you want to maintain a muscle mass that you have, and you because once you have a lot of muscle, you technically don't need to have a calorie surplus all the time if you have that muscle density and maturity there, right? So if you already have those satellite cells pretty much maintained, it's going to be harder to lose that muscle, okay? So that's why intermittent fasting can work, and it can help keep that muscle mass there at a healthy level without you consuming a lot of calories, which then can blow out the waist, because that's an effect of having insulin resistance or just too much insulin and having your organs grow, okay, because of the food. So that's just the effect, right? So I guess I retract my statement of like insulin not growing other organs. Indirectly, it can, I guess, just like testosterone and estrogen. So anyways, the risk that I see, that's, you know, the younger kids in the gym that are going, is that they're always wanting to not put the effort in at the gym and with the foundation of nutrition. Rather, they just want a magical pill, right? So they think anabolic steroids. Well, I don't want to inject myself with a needle. Have you seen those needles, man? They're pretty long, right? So you got an inch and a half, whatever, like however fat that you have, they need to go through to get into the muscle pretty deep. Or you can do the subcutaneous route and you can be a pincushion every single day, right? Whatever you want to do. So you can do like microdosing, right? That's what I mean. However, these kids, they're buying things online. They're buying things from peptide stores, from overseas, and buying pills, liquids. However, the problem is that these are not going to be regulated as if you're to get something prescribed through a doctor because you need it, not because you want it. So they typically go and they buy things like this. So this is going to be a oral form of MK677, and it does give you quite a big amount. So 12.5 milligrams. It's pretty high in my opinion. I mean, I like a little bit lower. So I mean, I would dose it like 5, because I don't like the effects of it. So, and what I get prescribed through a doctor is Pramlin, and this is going to be an injectable sub-Q that I do, and it's going to help with that same process. However, I do very, very small amounts because I'm very, very sensitive, and I found this out because of me taking these things. So why I'm not the biggest fan of MK677, this is why. The water retention is very dangerous. So you can get carpal tunnel syndrome, you can get retention in your legs, so that can cause a risk of DVT. So your legs have 3 chambers of how it pushes blood down and back up, okay? And if you have edema or swelling at the bottom of your legs, it's having trouble pushing the water back up. There could be a water imbalance, or it could be just your body's maintaining all these minerals due to the MK677 and the growth factors of insulin, right? So insulin's going to hold on to more nutrition, it's going to hold on to more minerals, and it's going to do with what it needs to do, whether that be repairing muscle, if you worked out really, really hard, or it's going to be stored as fat. So if you're starting off at the gym, the best growth hormone that you have, guess what? It's your natural growth hormone. The pulses of growth hormone that you release after training legs, heavy legs like squats, after training heavy deadlifts, after training heavy bench, it's astronomical, right? Especially if you're a young age. If you have not dedicated your time, what do they say? It takes 1,000 or 10,000 hours to become an expert in something. And then you're still learning because the expert level has other levels within it. It's always another level. You're always learning something. And so if you don't put that time in, this isn't going to help you. It's going to harm you in the end. You might have a good look in your 20s, but guess what? Whenever you get in your 30s, 40s, it's going to go downhill, and you're going to be having to inject yourself with either insulin because you're type 2 diabetic now. You got a blown out midsection, and now you just look like a turtle shell, right? There's a lot of risk. Also, the risk of having more water on your body, water retention, is going to be it's around your heart. It's going to stress your heart out. And that's what's going to cause some cardiovascular issues and the rise in blood pressure, which can risk injury on your kidneys, make your kidneys overwork. And so you have different blood work numbers, especially the GFR numbers. You're going to see that rise. And we don't want that. That's going to make you have to get closer and closer to performing dialysis if you can't get those numbers under control. So people go around the use of straight insulin sometimes, and they use these things that are sold online because you can buy it with a credit card, or you can buy it just directly mailed to your house without any repercussion of having the DEA take it from your house and seize it. And they think there's no problem because it's sold like that, the same way vitamin C is sold over the counter. However, I'm here to tell you that there is going to be problems, especially whenever you see that if you're always into like weight gain or even increasing your strength, there's not going to be a direct correlation with IGF-1 or growth hormone and strength. You may have water retention, which may help with your joints, which also would help with the range of motion and the angles at which you're going to be pressing. So maybe you're like with your bench pressing, your biceps, forearms, chest, it all just stays really, really tight, which allows you to be able to press it more efficiently. Same thing with squatting, your hamstrings might be fuller, your calves might be fuller. And so when you come down, they just touch and it's kind of reacts like a spring, okay? So there may be side effects like that, but that's just gonna be more of like physics and not really physiology to help you gain strength. The benefits that I see from my Prameland that I've been using and growth hormone, I use 1 IU growth hormone, 1 to 2, but it's the fact that the recovery is better. As I'm getting older, as I'm 33 now, going to be 34, and the repetitiveness of the lifting that I've had on my body and the dieting, it's wear and tear on my joints, wear and tear on a lot of other factors. I also find that it helps to heal my body from the inside out. So in my gastrointestinal issues that I've had, it seems to be able to help with the stomach lining. I've taken a break from glutamine, and it's been probably a month now, so I haven't been doing that. And it seems like the butyric acid, again, I haven't taken tributylin in a while, so it seems like the stomach acid is creating enough butyric acid to help my digest foods. So that's pretty much it. That's my opinion on growth hormone or MK677, like the growth hormone secretagogues. That's my opinion on it. Should you do it? I really don't think so. I think I hope that you wait to create a foundation of natural muscle and strength, and from there it's your decision. The same way smoking or drinking or driving fast is your decision. There's going to be a higher risk than that reward, and like always, if you want to become a pincushion for the rest of your life, go ahead and abuse it, because it's going to happen, man. There's not one person that can step away and not feel good and optimum without taking some sort of replacement after doing years and years and years of abuse of some of these auxiliaries or steroidal hormones. All right, that's it, man. Peace out.